Hi, this is Carrie Cooper for Guitar Centre's Focus on Rock. Today we look at one man who took himself to rock legend status behind one of America's most iconic bands, the Beach Boys. Brian Wilson, a creative genius plagued by depression and substance abuse, served his mental health issues over the decades, only to emerge as one of the most high-impact songwriters and musicians to have influenced the pop rock scene in the USA. Born in California on June the 20th, 1942, Brian Wilson experienced a notoriously difficult childhood. Describing his mother as an alcoholic, he was regularly beaten by his father. But the only thing that truly united the family was music. His parents both played the piano, and along with his brothers, Carl and Dennis, he would belt out harmonies in the living room of an evening. It's with mixed feelings he remembers his upbringing. "I had a good childhood, except for my dad beating me up all the time," he once said. Perhaps it was Brian being the oldest brother that somehow determined the musical fate of the three brothers. And, although plagued by inner conflict, his innate talent for writing stellar rock and roll, accompanied by complex and beautiful vocal harmonies, laid the groundbreaking foundations for the band that would create songs described by some as teenage symphonies to God. Good-looking girls, surfing, the open road, backed by glossy production and smooth instrumentals, created this very new signature era in pop. Wilson is described by some a musical genius and by others a victim of 1960s drug culture. And though there's most likely truth in both, it seems that the latter largely allowed him a creativity and determination to succeed that resulted in the Beach Boys' iconic status. When listening to the complexities of the Beach Boys' harmonies, it's kind of hard to believe that the creator Brian Wilson could only ever hear in one ear. Having lost the hearing in his right ear, according to Wilson, as a result of a blow to the head from his father as just a toddler, he only ever heard his music in mono. So protective he became of his remaining hearing capability, he made the decision to no longer play out live with the band sometime during the mid-60s. Another incredulous footnote to Brian Wilson's musical story: despite writing many quintessential California tracks about surfing, he in fact had a fear of the ocean and avoided surf altogether. A pop mini-symphony of Good Vibrations in 1966 brought an unfelt-before confidence in the band's output, and some believe Brian's discovery and dabbling with LSD, which was still legal in the US at the time, attributed to a musical change in direction. But with that came some rather bizarre studio behaviour. While recording The Elements' Fire, Mrs. O'Leary's Cow, he arranged for a small fire to be set in a bucket in the studio, so while recording, the band could smell the smoke as they worked, and also insisted the band wear children's plastic fire helmets. Things were getting dark for the band, and a series of small fires in the neighbourhood propelled Wilson's paranoia to the point where he abandoned the project altogether, until it was released in its reassembled glory in 2011. Brian Wilson's life went on to be a series of peaks and troughs involving love, drug abuse, heartbreak, depression, and finally stability. His full story can be seen in the acclaimed 2014 film Love and Mercy, which documents his musical genius, his losing grip on reality following the release of Pet Sounds, his sinister relationship with a rather controlling therapist, and finding his saviour in Refuge in his wife Melinda Ledbetter, finally once again finding his everyday good vibrations, the ones he truly deserves. This is Carrie Cooper for Guitar Centre's Focus on Rock. Shop for the greatest selection of music gear on earth in store or at guitarcentre.com.